Afternoon, Nick.
Hey, Chris.
How you doing? What went behind the decision to release Aaron Sipos now, and what did you see out of Braden Mann that gave you guys confidence to sign him?
Yeah, right now we just felt like, we first of all we thought that Aaron did a good job in training camp and was growing. So we felt like we were ready to go into the season with Aaron in there. And after 2 weeks we decided we wanted to make a change. Aaron's been a great teammate to his teammates. He's been spot on as a holder. And we're right now at this particular time, we just thought that what was in best interest for the team is to move forward with Braden. So, when we watch, obviously Braden's got tape out there that we obviously paid a lot of attention to, which got him into to where we brought him in to punt, and we liked his punts when he was here, and his holds and everything. And so we were confident in the decision for that to happen now. We got a little bit of a longer week to make sure the operation's clean, and so that's why it is the way it is right now.
We'll go to John and then Dave Zangaro.
Hi, Nick.
Hey, John.
I on Avonte Maddox, number one, can you confirm he tore his pec? And now that you lost him, at least for a while, and Zach, back in the preseason, how comfortable are you with that slot position?
We feel like we have good options in-house to be able to move forward, right? And that can be, that's why we cross-train people, whether that's a corner, whether that's a safety, whether that's the guys that play nickel. So we feel like we have good in-house options there. Listen, are we going to miss Avonte? Of course we are. He's a great football player who's made a lot of plays here. I thought he was playing really good football, really being aggressive, caused that fumble and then made some really good plays on the perimeter. And so we'll miss his contributions both as a teammate and then on the field. But we like some of our options, and this is the benefit of Howie and his staff building depth. And so, and that's our job as coaches, to make sure we have options with the depth that we have. And so we feel comfortable with that, but no doubt we'll miss Avonte while he's gone.
And can you confirm the torn pec part of it? Is it a torn pec?
Yeah, we can get that information too. He's going to be out for a little bit.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dave, and then Olivia.
Hey, Nick, as you take a look back at the first two games, what have some of the issues been with the passing offense, and what do you need to do to get them corrected?
Some of the things that happen is again, you're taking what the defense gives you, in different ways there. To have, speaking of the last game, to have 450 yards offense and still moving the football, it was just a little bit different way of how you had to move the football. We're not in a panic mode or anything like that. I think just, have the pass numbers been down? Yeah. Does the defense play into that? Of course it does. And fortunately for us, and not everybody has this luxury, but fortunately for us, we're able to win on the ground and we're able to win in the air. And so you are able to balance off of what the defense does. And I thought Brian and the offensive staff did a phenomenal job of saying, hey, okay, they're packing this in the middle of the field right here, and keeping all these guys high and having this three down front. All right, cool. You guys are doing that. Well, we'll do what we have to do to win the game. So Jalen was 18 to 23 in that game. So he was completing a high percentage of his passes. It's just, hey, we had 48 runs to 23 passes. Well, of course, your run stats are going to look different than your pass stats, and it's going to appear that your pass stats may be down. Was our first game our best game passing the football? No, but there were some similarities into that game plan as well. But I just felt like, again, we're talking about a 2-game sample size, so we're just going to keep doing what we need to do to put the guys in position to succeed, and that's our job as coaches. And we know for sure that we got the right guys in this building to go out and execute when the defense, against the defenses that we see.
Go ahead, Olivia, and then Jimmy.
Hi, Nick. How are Kenny Gainwell, James Bradbury, and Reed Blankenship doing as far as progressing through their respective injuries? And how likely is it that each of them plays this week against Tampa?
Yeah, I'll never put a timeline on anybody, and they're not in the building today. But we feel like everyone's got a chance to play this week against Tampa. We'll see though. Like I can't. It's a little bit too early for me to say again. With them being out of the building today, I'll have more information for you once they get back in. But again, we feel good that everyone's got a chance to play this week. So with James, I'm unable to comment on that with him being in the concussion protocol.
Go ahead, Jimmy, and then Martin.
Hey, Nick, after that last DeAndre Swift touchdown, I think a little more than 4 minutes to go, you're up 12. Why not go for 2 there?
Yeah, good question, Jimmy. As I looked at that, I should have went for 2 there, and so I didn't do a good enough job there. I didn't go through my process of what I do in that one, and that's before any drive in the fourth quarter. Before the drive even starts, to have that conversation. Hey, this is a 2-point conversion opportunity, or this is not. And I again just missed a step in my process. But I'll be better at that. And so mistake on my part. You're a little late to ask me that question. My brother asked me that right after the game why I didn't do that, so I had to answer that tough question with him. And again, that's me. And so we're all growing at this particular time. Regardless. And so would we love for us to be playing our best football right now? Yeah, but that's unrealistic, and that's with all of us, and it always starts with me. It's always going to start with me. So err on my decision there.
Thanks, Nick.
Go ahead, Martin, and then Jeff.
Hi, Nick. With the way defenses, with the way defenses have been playing you these first 2 games, I mean, obviously, we saw AJ was upset this past week, and Dallas didn't get any catches the first week. Is that something like these guys are going to have to adjust to? And do you have to talk to them about, maybe, it's not going to be, this week might not be your week and everything like that? Is that something you guys have to, talk through and adjust to?
Yeah, Martin, I always talk to them about that before the season even starts, because regardless of how the defense plays, I know that it could look like that week in, week out, right? Where it's going to look like that when you have so many good players on your roster like that. Again, it's tough because you always want to get them involved, but 23 passes attempts to 48 rushing attempts. So naturally, we completed 17 of them, as I think I said. Naturally, somebody's numbers are going to be a little bit low, and unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. But I do believe that all these guys in this building genuinely, love each other and genuinely are happy for each other's success. Do they want to contribute because they know they're capable of? Of course. Just sometimes frustrations run high because they're not able to. Of course, those are all part of it. But I'd say, on the frustration scale of what, obviously wasn't able to know fully about it until after the game. But on the frustration scale of what I've seen between receivers and quarterbacks or whatever, I mean, we're talking about a 2 out of 10. But I get it. I mean, we got to have things to definitely talk about. But in my opinion, that's what that was. I mean, that's a 2 out of a 10. But yeah, you always talk to them about that, and because you're trying to build, it's not the best groups of individuals that win. It's the best teams, and teams sacrifice for each other, and that's what happens with a team. And so, and sometimes it's one guy's opportunity to pull the load as a team, and sometimes it's the other guys. And but again, our guys understand that because we got good guys on this football team.
Thanks.
Go ahead, Jeff, and then Zach.
Nick, after the second game, after the first 2 games, did you go back and evaluate the process that had Kenny Gainwell starting and overwhelmingly getting touches versus DeAndre based upon what happened in the next game? And would DeAndre have gotten and been the starter, got as many touches if Kenny was active in that game?
Yeah, in that particular one, we felt like that was the best decision that Kenny was going on that one. He had some nice early carries, and then obviously Kenny wasn't able to go in this next one, and DeAndre took it. Again, like I said, this is going to be, depending on who gets the hot hand, that's how it's gonna look. Because we know they're all capable of doing what they did, and doing what they've done, and so really excited about DeAndre and his ability of what he showed in the game. We're going to continue to want him to touch the football, but we have just as much confidence in Kenny, and we have just as much confidence in Boston, and we got a lot of confidence in Rashad. So we really like that room, and that's going to look different each week, just like the AJ, Devontae, Dallas, Quez thing's going to look different each week. That's going to look different each week. And so, but like I said, just really excited about how the way DeAndre played, and looking forward to him continuing to play a big role in our offense.
We'll go to Zach and then Rube.
Hey, good afternoon, Nick.
Hey,
what
Zach.
stood out to you about James Bradbury in the slot during training camp? And is he a realistic option as a potential replacement when you go to nickel?
Yeah, obviously not any questions that's kind of something I don't want to say quite yet, Zach, obviously, just because I think there's a mystery of unknown that their slot receivers will have to prepare for. And so, like I said, I will say that we have good options, that we feel like we have really good options there. And we've worked, with many different guys, not just James, but many different guys right there. And so, and I'm as bummed as I am for Avonte and for the team to lose Avonte, I am excited for other guys to get an opportunity on in there as well. And so, yeah. So again, bummed for Avonte, though, moving forward.
Go ahead, Rube, and then Dave, you're in.
Hey, Nick, you talked about how few passes you've thrown. I think Jalen's thrown. But he's been sacked 7 times. It's a pretty high percentage. You hear
Rube,
me?
your audio is breaking up a little bit.
I think I got you, Rube.
I was just
Rube, you said
7 sacks. Just your concern level about the number of sacks and where the breakdowns have been.
Yeah, when a sack's never just on, it's never on one position group. It always you always go through and you break down what was this a product of the offensive line breakdown? Was it a product of a back missing a protection? Was it a mental error of a back missing a protection? Did the quarterback hold it for too long? Did a receiver have a wrong route discipline of how what happened? And so again, early on in the season, you want to play your best ball as quick as you possibly can, but you have to go through some ups and downs to make sure you're playing your best ball when we get in October, November, and December. And so, with those sacks, there's been a little bit on every group, right? Even though it appears like, well, that was on Jalen or that was on whoever, it could look completely different to the eyes of our coaches. Right. For instance, we had one of those sacks on the plus 35 this week. Maybe it appeared like Jalen held the ball too long, but really at the end. But what happened on that play is we had a guy over the ball, and then the other guy coming on a shallow, and the guy coming over on the shallow, and he knows who it is, and I don't need to say it here. The guy coming over on the shallow pushed, didn't get across the field quick enough and clouded the read for Jalen. So again, like it is, you want to, our job is to make sure that we fix it and not assign blame to anybody, but make sure we're fixing it. And what's happening right now is we've had a little bit of each group. And so, like I said, it's never on one group, but I'm super confident that in our group to fix that, and our coaches to fix that and play better and get better.
Go ahead, Dave, and then EJ.
Hey, Nick, looking ahead to next Monday night, you've spoken about disadvantage before, but I'm presuming that there's a decent chance that there's going to be a lot of traveling Eagles fans. to this game on Monday night. When that happens, when there's a decent portion of the road crowd that is in favor of you, how much of an advantage do you think that is?
I think there's a decent chance of that happening because it feels like it always happens for us on road games. That's how much we love our fans, and we appreciate our fans. That even when you play away, that you have a big support there. And so, yeah, I mean that's always great. I've been on the other side of that where you're practicing crowd noise, for in anticipation of a certain team coming. And the Eagles were always one of those certain teams you'd practice crowd noise for. When I was at another team, and whether that was it was only one team. Y'all can figure out what team that was. So it is. We feel like it's a big benefit, and so to the Eagles fans that live in Florida, we look forward to seeing you there, and you guys and seeing the green and hearing the crowd noise, and we get excited about that. So yeah, big advantage for us that we have. The best fans in the world, and then that they also travel well, and then they also live in different areas that support us.
We have time for two more, so go ahead, EJ, and then Bo.
Hey Nick, with all the moving parts in the secondary, I guess how would you say Mario Goodrich and Josh Jobe graded out against the Vikings?
Yeah, I thought they did some nice things. Again, they're coming in for the most extensive play that they've had as professional football players, and so we were pleased with some of the things that they did. We all have things to improve, and they have things to improve, right? But to say our confidence level is high with both of those guys, and we're excited. We're excited for their opportunities as we go, but not only on defense, but also on special teams. So again, we're pleased with a lot of the things they did, and defensively.
Go ahead, Bo.
Hey, Nick, just to follow up on the 2-point conversion thing, I'm just curious if the mechanics of that are any different this year than they were last year.
I'm sorry, Bo, as far as
you said, you should have had it in your head before the drive started. I'm just
no, that's always on me, and that's always just checking my chart and then the flow of the game and everything like that before. And so no, nothing different there, because as far as the operation, it's just it made a lapse in my process that that cost us an opportunity to go for 2 and go up 14.